Okay, I'll call to order the special council meeting. Is this being recorded? No.
Especially live stream.
Oh, live stream. Okay, so right. Okay, so this is recording live on YouTube. We have some late item. We have late item. This corporate officer, go ahead. Or
You speak.
okay. So I'm adding that late item. I sent an email to everybody. Talk about the RDUS's request for a letter of support. We'll do that at 4.2. So first, motion to approve the agenda. Councillor Van Elfen, Councillor Barkwell, all in favor, carries. And 4.1, permissive tax exemption, and this is just for adoption. So motion to adopt, Councillor Van Elfen, Councillor Trainer, all in favor. That carries. And then the RDUS request for a letter. I sent an email out to everybody last night. If you had a chance to look at that, basically they're looking for a grant to hire a regional economic development coordinator, and they're asking the municipalities to participate. It would the commitment would from us would be $10,000 a year for 3 years. We do know as they're asking all the municipalities. We do know Soyuz has declined to participate. So I don't know what that means for the other municipalities. It'd probably be we'd have to pay more. It has been discussed at the RDUS quite a bit, including in strategic planning last week. There's a lot of disagreement, I would say, on the RDUS board about the role of this person and the role of having a regional coordinator as opposed to economic development for each specific kind of community in rural areas. So my feeling is that $10,000 could be put to better use here in the community. Councillor Barkwell might have his own perspective. He's listened to all these discussions at the RDUS table as well. I don't want to put you on the spot. So I just put it out there, and if someone wants to, we just need to decide whether we want to give them a letter of support or not. Basically, a letter of support would mean we're committing to that 10,000 for 3 years. Councillor Trainer.
What kind of jobs would this person do in terms of like what would Summerland get from it?
Don't know.
We don't know. Okay, so we don't really know what the job would look like or what kind of tasks they would be doing in terms of examples of economic development that would benefit the whole region?
Well, it says here that it would support local businesses in the workforce, conduct strategic planning and data tracking, strengthen rural and regional competitiveness, which doesn't really tell you a whole lot. Yeah. Mm. Councillor Van Elfen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to hear from our liaison, please.
Well, my personal view is that it's really hard to quantify the value of economic development. Everybody always says, "Oh, you need to have somebody promoting economic development," and I am always kind of skeptical of that and what can they really accomplish. And then even on a regional district scale, I'm thinking, what do we have in common with Princeton as far as economic development goes? But there may be things that come up that are specific to Summerland that we can, ask them to do. It's kind of reminds me of our community liaison, police liaison officer. She's partly funded by the regional district, so she's helping out here in Summerland. It's, she doesn't ignore us when I'm working on setting up the students on patrol. So something like that could come up. So since it's such a small amount and then it's going to be leveraged up by grant money, I could go along with this one myself.
Councillor Peak?
I'm concerned that we wouldn't get that much value out of it at this stage. And the other thing being the world competitiveness. Some might argue that this is a time to have somebody that goes and looks for things, but I think there's a settling out that's going to happen over the next 2-3 years. And I don't think the timing would be right for doing an economic development officer at the RDOS level or our own.
Councillor Betts?
Thanks for the opportunity to speak and think about this. I can see where the other comments are coming from. One of the things that I will note came up at UBCM was the discussions from our kind of northern regions, how they seem to be getting more and more organized in developing the resource industries up north and really accessing large amounts of both government funding and connections and capacity building with First Nations that kind of needed an in-between a liaison, which it seemed there are lots of opportunities to engage private companies for that, though that would come at a cost of more than $10,000 for the District of Summerland. Honestly, I don't have enough context to commit $10,000 to this. I just read it 5 minutes ago.
Councillor Malcolm?
No, I can't support it either. I just don't see I can see a need. There's no doubt in my mind. I think we could use someone in that capacity, but how do you control it? Like they're doing a project in Princeton, they're doing a project in Soyuz, and we need, someone here helping us at that time. Like, how does this person, how do you deal with that? And so I'm not willing to put up the money at this point in time.
Okay, well, do we need a resolution on the table? Or and then that would mean we do nothing. Yeah. Okay. So we need a Councillor Betts.
Thank you. I think the only thing that I would offer is just in order to secure this funding from communities, just a slightly more developed idea about what that role and value would be to this region. And then we could get behind it, but I just think that it's still in the fleshing out phase, which is going to take everybody's $10,000 to get organized.
Well, this is exactly the kind of issue I have, is that even on the RDS board, there isn't a consensus of what it would do. It's one of those situations, well, here's an opportunity for a grant, let's apply for it and then figure it out afterwards. And that's why there's not consensus on the RDS board about the need, the need and what such a person would do, and a big debate about, a regional officer versus, Naramata would like to have its own. So that's none of that was resolved. Okay, so would somebody like to bring this forward for information? Councillor Trainer, Councillor Van Alphen second. Any further discussion? I'll call the question. All in favor? And none opposed. That carries. And a motion to adjourn the special council meeting. Councillor Van Alphen, Councillor Barkwell, all in favor? And that carries.